Dear ReaList users, I am super excited to introduce to you a new ReaList list editor that you can run either on your computer or an iPad or even on your phone, which is going to really augment the abilities that you have that are built into just the basic list editor that's in ReaList. All right, just to show you how powerful this list editor is, we're going to do a little bit of AI list generation. But if you want to access the list editor right now, only thing you have to do is navigate over to rostamimagic.com/real-edit. Okay, it's really simple. Just rostamimagic.com/real-edit. And when you go there, you will see the page and you're ready to rock. So here's the way it works. List generation. So first, you're going to just provide the website with a topic of a list that you're interested in generating. So let's say I want to produce a list of famous men. That's it. That's the only thing you do is you type in famous men. Notice that right next to it, it says number of items. By default, it's 100 items, mainly because ReaList works normally with 100 items on a list. But feel free to change this number to be whatever you want. It can be a list that's made up of from one item up to as many items as you want. Okay. So now you click on generate list and you'll notice there's a little indicator here that's showing you that it's working on generating the list. And once it does, watch what happens. Every field that normally you would have to manually populate in ReaList has now been automatically created for you. So now the only thing you're going to do is you're going to tap on the copy list button that's right below. It's going to copy that list to the clipboard of your computer. Now, if you're using this on your phone or if you're using it on an iPad, of course, it's going to copy to that. And so now here on the left-hand side, which represents the magician's phone, all I'm going to do now is go up to the top where it says add. And you'll notice there's an option in ReaList that says paste list from clipboard. Now watch what happens when you just click on paste list from clipboard. It says, do you want to actually allow a list to be pasted from the Mac? I say yes, allow paste. And now when you do, the moment you click on it, you can see that now there is the list that we had just created on the browser that is now populated into ReaList. And let's actually go over all the different features that are on this list. And of course, if you're happy with it, you just click on the save button and you'll be able to see that sure enough, there is now a new list that you have that's called famous men. Okay. So now going back to the right-hand side, as far as the actual functions of the website are, first you got the list details. So of course, the actual list name is famous men. And by default, it grabs that name for the list from the topic that you have specified. It doesn't have to be that. You can actually change this now to be whatever you want. So if you just simply wanted to change the list name to be men, you could, or whatever else. List icon topic. What it now has done is that it randomly goes through the list, finds a item that actually has an icon, and it randomly attaches that icon to it. And the reason why it has done that is because when it looks up famous men in Wikipedia, it noticed that there is basically no icon for that term, and therefore it's smart enough to know that it's just going to go grab a photo or a small icon for a famous man, and it will put it in there. Preamble is wonderful. Of course, this is the text that appears below the item that's on the ReaList Google Stats website, and the AI here has done a brilliant job of writing a short 5-paragraph article about famous men. And this is, of course, in the style of a encyclopedia. As we come further down, and of course, please feel free at any time to jump into here and change it, to change the text to be whatever you want, pastime, whatever. Okay, so really easy to go in and change these things to be whatever you want. And that's why having this web page the way that it is makes it very fast for you to customize the lists the way that you want. As we continue to go down, we have force item. So the force item in this case, again, the website is automatically just taking something which is of a very, very high popularity and it sticks it into the force item. Also, by default, it takes the force count, which is whatever is the first word of the force item. It counts the number of characters that are on the first word, and it makes that be the first digit here in that 3-digit number. And the subsequent digits are simply +2 of that going around. So in this case, that's why it's 802. Okay. The force position is for circumstances where you're going to be generating a rolling list. And so this is where you would specify a force position. And if you are going to be generating a rolling list, of course, you can just toggle on the rolling list and it would remember that. Okay. If you wanted this to be a hidden list in your ReaList, the toggle for the hidden is available here as well. So the purpose of this web page is for it to essentially mimic the functions that you have in the ReaList list editor, but it's meant to do a lot more. Okay, so now here's where the real fun part of this web page is, and which is under your customize your list. Notice that it says you can drag to reorder, click the text to edit, or X to delete. Okay, so now as we come down the list, for example, I can see over here that where it says Martin Luther King Jr., it's missing an icon. And I'm willing to bet you that if I was to put a little dot right here, it would actually correctly go fetch Martin Luther King Jr.'s icon and it will populate it right here on the list. Okay, so as we continue to go down, we can see that if we wanted to, let's say, reorder something. Let's say I want to take Martin Luther King Jr. and I wanted him to be further up on the list. Just by simply dragging and dropping it, now you can see that I just moved that item so that now it's going to be right below William Shakespeare. Or maybe I feel that Isaac Newton should be below, let's say, Abraham Lincoln, and there it is. So now Albert Einstein has been moved to number 1. So whatever you want to do, it's really easy now to resort the list. The same idea applies for deleting items from a list. So let's say if I wanted to remove, let's say Michelangelo, I can just click on the little X over here, or Galileo, or whatever. And you are now quickly deleting items from the list. One of the other things that's really fun about creating lists here with the new ReaList editor is that if you choose to add an item to the list, so let's say, for example, I wanted that item to be Play-Doh. Okay, watch what happens. Notice how it highlights Play-Doh here, which is telling you that this is a duplicate item to an item that's already on the list, which means that if I now continue to scroll up, I can actually find where the other duplicate is right there further up the list. So this is a great way when you are creating a list and, you're just kind of like trying to come up with an item that you think is going to be important in the list. And as you type, it's great to know if you have already used that item before or not. Okay, so I'm just going to turn off the rolling list and the hidden list because I don't need it anymore. I'll delete the Play-Doh just because I don't need that anymore either, right? And then finally, when it comes to actually editing the individual items that are on a list, okay? So let's say, for example, for the Charlie Chaplin item that's over here, I don't want it to be an icon of Charlie Chaplin, okay? Remember that every item in ReaList can have icons that are different than the text that you have typed. In ReaList, by simply using the pipe character, which is the character that I just typed, and then following it with any other text, it's now going to replace that icon with what you want. So let's say I'm going to replace the icon of Charlie Chaplin with Brad Pitt. Okay? Take a look. Immediately and instantly, there is now a picture of Brad Pitt that is going to be basically coming up in every time Charlie Chaplin appears. All right. Now, I know that this is not logical, but I'm just showing you that that option is available for you. And this is for circumstances when you are creating lists, for example, in different languages, and you notice that the icons actually don't line up with whatever word you have typed in. Just by using that, pipe character and following it with the equivalent word in English, then you'll get a wonderful icon for whatever is the word. Okay. A similar idea applies to what happens when you want to assign a very, very specific file to an icon. So let's say, for example, over here, we could see that there is the image of Steve Jobs, right? And for Steve Jobs, we could see that it's just fetching the image of Steve Jobs here from Wikipedia. But there is this other photograph of Steve Jobs that I have found online that I like better. So if you do find images that you like better, just make sure that the URL that you have for the image is a URL that ends with either that .jpg, which identifies a standard JPEG file, or PNG, or whatever you like, okay? And so now I can copy that URL, come back into the ReaList editor, tap into that Steve Jobs entry field, or the edit field, use the pipe character, and now I'm going to paste in the one that I just took from the URL. And now when I hit the tab key, or if I just simply move to another item on the list, take a look. There is now the image, that exact image that I wanted, that's going to represent Steve Jobs on the list. So this way you can basically grab exactly the images that you like for the items that are on your list. Okay? So all in all, you've seen how you can add items to the list, how you can remove items from a list, and how the incredible AI technology that's built into this makes creating lists so easy. After you're done with all of this, so let's say, for example, I've created the list, I've edited the list, I'm happy with the way the list is right now. I'm back here on the left-hand side. I'm just going to go back to the famous men list that I had before. I'm going to delete it, so I no longer need that one. And so now I'm going to do my new list. So I can click OK there, go back up to add here at the top of the screen. On the right-hand side, I can once again click on that copy list button. So it copies it. On the left-hand side over here, since it already has been copied, I can choose paste list from clipboard, select the allow paste. And so now you're going to notice that there it goes. It inserts the new list there. And on the right-hand side, or pardon me, on the left side, as we scroll down, we could see that, sure enough, this is now the new list that we had just created, where, let's say, for example, the area that we had for Steve Jobs is going to be occupied with the new icon that we had given Steve Jobs, which is right there. So everything on this updated list is now exactly the way that we designed it from the website. And if you're happy with it, of course, you click on Save. And just to show you, how you would perform this, for those of you who are familiar with ReaList, of course, you know that right now, there it is. It says Famous Man. The fourth item is Leonardo da Vinci. I can now click on the Perform on my phone button. It opens up the browser. It goes to Google Stats. You can either perform, as you know, with Google Stats, or if you tap on the hamburger menu here in the upper left-hand corner, it's going to take you to the Trends website, which is really wonderful. And so now as we scroll down, you can see that there's a new topic here. It says Famous Men. So I can select that. And let's say I want to force Leonardo da Vinci on item number, I don't know, let's try 54. Okay, so I just do that, and you can see that because I've got my inject connected to ReaList, that's why there is a push notification for Leonardo da Vinci that just popped down from the top. But just to show you that the list, the force did work for Leonardo da Vinci on 54, if we scroll down the list until we get to 54, there he is, Leonardo da Vinci, and of course the 802K searches is below it. And that, my dear friends, is the new ReaList list editor. It is awesome, and it's also a really, really great way for you to even take the existing lists that you have in ReaList that you want to edit and modifying them using this list editor. Just to quickly show that to you, here's how that works. Okay, so let's say we switch back over to ReaList. All right, I'm going to go and grab any one of the lists that I want to edit. So let's say I grab on the actress list, and I'm going to choose the copy option here in the lower right-hand corner. So now it has basically copied the JSON file for this list to the clipboard. Now here on the right-hand side, you can either choose to start this web page from scratch, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start the web page from scratch by reloading it, or you could have just chosen the paste list from clipboard option here at the top. And watch what happens when I do click on paste list from clipboard. The first time you're going to do it, it's going to ask you if you want permission to paste from the clipboard onto this web page, and you're going to just simply say, yes, I do give you permission. So I click on paste list from clipboard, and immediately the actress topic that we had just copied from here on the left-hand side is now here on the right side, and you're now welcome to use all of the new editing features that are here in the new ReaList editor for your existing lists. I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait to see what you guys do with it, and let me know what you think.